Welcome to today's episode, a closer look at bullying, conversations that build understanding. Bullying can leave deep scars on students, but schools have the power to change that story. Through empathy, kindness, and courage, we can create ripples of change that can make our schools and playgrounds safer. Today we are joined by our teacher Miss Mariam and our well-being counselor Umra Mansoor to talk about how we can recognize bullying, respond to it, and build a culture with care and respect. Let's start with it. I have always been really curious as how we can recognize any student or anyone around us who is struggling quietly because oftentimes bullied individuals don't tell. Can you shed some light on it? Explain it to me and my fellow mates.
That's a very interesting question, Anaya, and I'm glad you asked it because a lot of times these kids who are being bullied, they are so isolated that we don't, we being busy in our lives, we don't even recognize them. And bullying is something which is very aggressive, it's repetitive, and a lot of times there's a lot of power imbalance in that as well, which means the person who is bullying is basically having a upper hand on the other person. It could be in the sense of being, strength, or could be popularity wise, or maybe with the having more friends, or they can be older than the other person. So when we talk about how can we identify the students who are actually going through bullying is they're very small signs and they are very subtle signs, but they scream louder as well. So they start getting quieter, they start withdrawing from things, they're isolating themselves, their friend circle changes. They become more anxious, they become more irritable. Other than that, they start getting absent a lot. And these are a lot, and not just this, there are times when there are aggressive outbursts as well. So it can go in the opposite direction as well.
Thank you for explaining that in such a simple way. By the way, Miss Mariam, is that information new to you as well?
Well, I would say that information is not entirely new to me, to be very honest, because in the past experience so far, we've been observing all types of kids in our classes, and also different age groups as well. So observing all those points and connecting to what Ms. Umra just mentioned, I think we do find such examples all around us, and there are more as well, besides the one she has just mentioned. So, for example, if we see a child who's not really able to or not really willing to get involved with the group task with his or her peers, there might be kids who are having unnecessary outbursts during the class or during even a small argument. So we have other examples as well, and we do see that in all classes more or less.
That kind of connects to my next question, which is, when you do see bullying happening in the moment, how do you step in as a teacher without making things worse for the student?
Okay, so usually when these things happen, since we know that there are multiple types of bullying, so it depends on what kind of bullying it is at that point. For example, we have verbal bullying or physical, or maybe something that's very silent. So we have to be observant about that. And once, for example, the one that we encounter in school, since we are talking about the school environment at the moment, I would say that the most common one is verbal bullying. That's what we see usually. And once that's happening, the first thing that a teacher should do, or the one that I do usually, is to intervene, obviously, and to separate the kids in that heat of the moment, so that it doesn't reach the physical bullying as well, because the one who's a victim might also have an outburst at some point or might react or anything. So we need to stop at that moment. And then, because what we have realized is that the one who is bullying is not always he might have something going on at the back of his or her mind as well, which might be the reason of causing him to be that bully. So we need to find out that cause as well, and to do that I think it's very important to talk to each one separately in a proper counseling session outside the class or whenever I'm free, so that I'm able to find out why it's happening, and I'm able to find out the root cause, and then I'm able to give that. If the child is probably looking for attention, then he should get that kind of attention, which might turn him into a positive person rather than become a bully. So there are multiple types of bullying, but this is one way I deal with the most common one that I face.
I'm very happy that you highlighted this point. I really love how teachers are aware nowadays, because I can't think of a time when I was in school and I had a teacher who was that empathetic, or let's say who was that aware that she would also look at other perspective, a perspective that would show, okay, bully is going through something as well, bully is struggling as well. So thank you for highlighting that. And there are multiple reasons for that. Again, the things that bully is struggling from, it can come from their family side as well. It can come from something out of their home as well. It can be their tuition centers, it can be schools.
Something happening on the streets.
On the streets, because kids do play on the streets when in the evening. It's in their routine. So can't really let go of that factor as well. So I think when I talk about power imbalance, that comes in the situation of bully as well. So bully is either feeling lack of sense of control or power, because even as a kid, sometimes our parents become too preoccupied with our things that it seems like we don't have control. And to get that sense of control back, they replicate that power of imbalance in schools with other people around them. Other than that, they need attention. Again, some kids are so neglected that even if they're getting negative attention, they would get
happy
that.
with it. Yeah.
Exactly. Other than that, they want to feel cool. They want to fit in, because again, as kids, even I would say there are some insecurities. Every person has it. How we recover from that, that's something to talk about in later sessions. But again, that may come up as well. Other than that, this can also be a reason that they might not know that it's bullying, so they don't recognize it. That could be one reason, because again, the behaviors they're seeing around them in homes, or let's say in school, they're very instilled within them, because that's the norm for
Normalized for them.
Exactly. And so what I would tell is, it's not about us, or it's not about the person who's getting bullied, it's more about the person who is bullying. So the actions of bully is more about the bully himself or herself rather than the one who's getting bullied, because again, we see a very drastic negative impact on the person who's being bullied as well.